was sitting here thinking, what if the tools was here to heal, bro? Look at how many people here sick. I mean, it's if you the way I see it with Revelation and stuff, the world done went its course basically. For it's time to reset. So what if God sent these tools here to heal? Because if my flame can do what she doing, if it's all, and I can do what they say I can do, then imagine what all the tools can do. So who took the tools? Or who misled the tools? And what was the original plan for the tools? What if, I don't know, I know this could sound crazy, but what if the tools are here to heal? What if God is reprogramming everybody? Basically. I went out there in that sun, it burned my forehead all the way off. But what if though? Imagine that. Because if these tools, I've been hearing some unique stuff about these tools, but the problem is that they've been basically in prison. I guess, I don't know, but what if, because you look at all the contamination in the world, there's a lot of contamination now. And there's a lot of stuff that can be healed. There's stuff that can be healed, people say it can't be healed. But it's things like the tools here. What if the 144,000 is here to heal? Especially after the chaos. I ain't gonna say they're in prison because God working on them. I really wouldn't completely say it's prison. But it's a big what if though. It's something for us all to think about, because I think me and somebody were talking about this, and we were like, what if what they say is true? And that these tools is healing people. I remember somebody coming to me 5 years ago wanting my blood, or they wanted somebody pretended like they was me. And because of what we was at, I thought they were just psychopaths. I said, go on, get out my face. And they were like, nah, we heard some tools can heal. I said, I don't know nothing about none of that. I said, I don't know nothing about none of that. But what if though? I guess nobody would know if they keep going this way, It's like God got a group of people, a whole lot of people. God say He gonna reprogram us a good way. Like He gonna reprogram us in a way where the old magic won't work on us no more. Something like that. And I didn't even know what He was talking about at first, but now that I've been going through this, I'm like, okay, I see what He's talking about now. But what if these tools can heal though, man? And if you warp the energy of a tool, it can do the opposite. It won't do what it's fully capable of doing. It only do something temporarily. If not, do it the opposite, total opposite. It's something to think about though. Like, what are the tools and what are they here to do? Because I'm a tool, and they gave all the information to the opposite or to somebody else who wasn't a tool, then how many of us do they do like that? And how many of us they trying to plan? All right, you gotta look at this person. Whoever playing is, you gotta look at what they trying to hold the power of these tools so they could be the power of the healer. That wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You'll be in control of the world almost, would you? If this stuff is true, hell, I don't know if it's true. I just hear a lot of stuff and I be like, man, if that stuff is true, then it look like somebody just, it's all in God's plan, it's all written, everything going according to plan, I think, but it's still something to think about. Cause I just never thought about it until I was with a young lady and she told me, and she was like, you know you be getting attacked by people you least suspect, right? I said, yeah, but she said, no. She was basically like, can you heal? I said, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all that. But what if the tools can heal? I mean, I try to heal like this Rita said, I try to heal that way. Tell people how they can get out of stuff. There's other ways of healing, you know, anything. You just gotta believe, bro. And you gotta, some things you gotta step away from even if you think it's good for you. And then your body will start to heal. Sometimes you just gotta accept the reality of things. But I know with the way they did my flame, I ain't gonna talk about it like that, but she had to have had something going on secretly. Nobody's talking about it. She a tool, I'm a tool. So if everything is true from what I hear about her, it might be a possibility that the tools are here to heal. It will make sense because of the contamination, how great it is. It really don't matter where you at these days. It's kind of like that everywhere. I know I got in my feeling last night when I said what I said, but it's because of the attacks by these people. It's like, it's almost like the sick is attacking the healed, and it shouldn't be that way. You shouldn't back nobody up against the corner or against the wall just because of the fact you're not healed or you got some hidden motives or some secret agenda. You shouldn't try to hurt somebody that took care of themselves. And if these tools are here to heal, you shouldn't be trying to even attack them in the first place. You should be trying to gather these people up the right way and do things the right way and see what's going on, bro. The right way. Now, I was sitting here thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a while now. I was like, well, you know, contamination is high. You know, contamination is high right now. So, what if the tools are here to heal? What if they do got healing properties? And you know, just to know, two of the hardest parts to heal will obviously be the forests and the gardens. So if you got a king and a queen or high priest and a high priestess here that had the abilities that can heal, and then you got these 13 that was, all of the energy that was coming towards me, I'm gonna hit this up and out, all of the energy that was coming towards me, there's something unique and special about it. And what if the contact that I did have with the flame amplified her gifts? Just what if, y'all? What if? Now, I want to go in. I want to tell everything that my flame went through, and what a lot of men, no matter what race they was, and no matter who they was, judge, lawyer, no matter. But I'm trying to keep it to myself. You know what I'm saying? And what if, you know, I was like that over here with the women? What y'all to do then? If all the women went crazy like that? Ooh, wee. What would happen then? But, you know, that ain't happened, but I'm just saying. Because I ain't just, what y'all done to that, or what y'all try to do, or whatever, you gotta ask yourself, the two hardest things that I know for a fact to heal on a human body is the garden and the forest. And if y'all knew that me and her had the ability to do something like that, why did you move this way? Why did you do this? Why did you not even let them come in contact with one another, or even the rest of them that came? What was wrong with y'all, man? I read this somewhere, like when I was reading up that, I think it was the Timekeeper or something like that, about Slayer. I was reading something about slayers and relics and stuff like that, and they actually had this. I looked it up because it's a name for it. They had it on this show. It was showing this white guy, and he was built just like me, and he came up in another time zone. It was like in the early 70s, 60s, or the 50s. And they kept him trapped just like this, just like this, just like this. And he was just doing the same thing I was doing, really. And they called him something. And things were just reconstructed around him. And it was real, all this was real. And I was like, what is this guy? Because somebody sent me a message to look it up for myself. When I thanked him for, I don't know who it was. Somebody on YouTube, and I looked it up, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. But I can't remember, I wrote it somewhere. I wrote it in so many different books, ain't no telling what it said. But it's a name, it was on a YouTube. And they were like, this person was known by the government, everybody. But, what if this person can heal? I mean, what if not me? What if all these tools can heal, though? What if they got some kind of healing properties for a certain part of the earth? The root chakra, the forests. It would make sense for revelation. It would make sense that many souls are paused while God is remodifying, reconstructing, redesigning. It would make sense for the 144,000 chosen to rebuild, basically reset the earth. So, you know, when you look at Revelation and you look at all this stuff, you look at total distinct. You look at a massacre. When we read it like it's like a massacre. Cause we ain't taking it like. But if you look at it logically, it would really look like a reset, a reboot in the people's minds, in the people's bodies, in the people's vessels. The people will have to move differently. The people will need to move differently so they can be forgiven and be resetted. You know, that will easily bring forth the new Genesis, something like that. Yeah, you know, this all could be biased, but. I better quit saying that though. But it makes me wonder, like, what if? Because if what I heard is true, I don't know, I don't want to go on it, but if what I heard was true about my flame, then obviously I would totally be the opposite. And it's almost like I said in that last lecture, she was able to heal the forest, and I was able to heal the gardens. And somehow heal her. And that means all them other 13, even the 13 we ain't met yet, got the same abilities. They just don't know it. Or maybe they activate when they meet each other. You just don't know how God works. Now that I've been seeing all this, it's like somebody jumped the gun. It's like somebody was hasty and just did a lot of stuff. Somebody messed up real bad. Somebody messed up real bad. But anyway, so I read in there, I was following this dude, and I read about him. Now, I've been studying diseases for a while, and I noticed diseases were growing at least 15, 20 years ago. When I was sick myself with internal illnesses like cancer, I got rid of all of it. I just had to really, really apply myself. And I got into it, I found it interesting. And I found that to be interesting because I hate books and I hate pencils and paper. Make me sweat like One Punch Man. So I got into it and I started liking it. I knew then, bro, I would have been a great. I wanted to be a brain doctor, a neurologist. I wanted to be a brain doctor. I don't know why. I just was intrigued with brain. But and I found that it was so above me, I felt like I never looked into it. But when I got sick and I was forced to, and my son was born, and they wanted to give my son 7 brain surgeries, I worked on my son hard. I worked on my son while he was still in the belly of the beast. I was just playing. I worked on my son while he was still in the belly of his mama. And I successfully did it. I gave my all. I learned how to meditate that day when my son was in my wife's stomach. The first time I learned how to meditate. And I meditated harder then than I ever meditated in my life. And I remember going to a whole nother world. A healing world, beautiful world. You can't explain it. It was like a rainbow world or something. It was just a healing world. I remember my son being healed, and I learned what to, somehow I learned things when I crossed over like that. I learned things to feed my wife, to eat. It was just a short, she didn't have like 3 months to do this. It was they had him, but he was on breast milk. So I had to give these nutrients to my wife, and she had to pump it with her breast milk in a bottle. So she had to produce these nutrients. We worked good together with business wise. We were good together. I don't know what the hell my wife was thinking about. I know she devastated, so I don't even go there with her. But and then let's just say she was cheating the whole time I was with her. I didn't know. Or what if she was healing every time she was with me? It's stuff to think about now that I seen what my flame been going through. And I'm like, I know y'all be like, well, she did it. I don't know her. I just know she was my flame. So it don't matter. You know, once a flame gonna always be a flame, even if it go to another flame. I know all the rest of the flames are twins too. And the new energy. I just don't want to say y'all name, put y'all in all this. But me and her already in it. We already at the forefront, so it don't matter. I don't want to say nothing about the 3 L's and G and everybody. I don't even want to put y'all in all this. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know about me and her. So far, we the activists. You might as well say. So I'm just utilizing her. She don't care anyway. So we were the one done wrong. We were the one misguided. We were the one that didn't get a fair chance at life. The wrong that we done in our lifetime was just. We were literally people that was supposed to have been born to heal the world and was literally re-navigated to kill ourselves. From the day we were born, that was totally evil. That was evil beyond measure. So, who you gonna blame? Who can you blame? You can't blame nobody. This guy's book is written. Can't blame nobody. There's something here for all of us to learn, and it's our job to learn it. You can't blame nobody, man. When I met her, it broke me so bad. She was trying to tell me her story. I told her to be quiet. I didn't want to hear no more. Because all she had to tell me was that her life was just like mine, and I can only imagine a woman going through what I went through. So that's that. We don't got no contact, no sexual contact, no nothing with each other. We just met each other one time. We knew instantly we were flying, which was amazing. Because now one of us believed in none of that like that. So it was amazing. And it hurt both of us. Because we knew we was two wrecked cars. And we just knew it was too late. A story to be told one day. But if what they say secretly about her, that they keep it secret, because they did some things. The men did some things. Y'all was wrong. Y'all was wrong now. That's why you get mad when I say something about disease and stuff like that. You shouldn't. You should be thankful. You should be thankful that that's it. Because what y'all did to her was totally wrong. No woman deserved it. No woman does. Y'all had it in y'all mind to do it. Y'all were disgusting. Ooh, wait. And I'm telling y'all, ooh, Lord, I'm telling y'all, if something happened where you can't get her, wait. Come over here thinking you finna do all that like you did her. Yeah. But anyway, let me get out of that heat, bro, before I get in trouble. But what if, y'all? I've been looking at it, like I said, I went with my son, and the doctor said it, guaranteed he was gonna have 7 brain surgery. So I worked double time on my wife. And we went and bought the food, we went and bought the herbs. I ordered the herbs offline. They got there in time. I ain't have about 3 to 4 months to do this stuff. Or 2 months, probably. And we did it, and she started producing it immediately. Had a good body, a healthy body. She just didn't take care of it, I guess, like she should have. She was doing this dark stuff, and it messed up. But so far as her health-wise or something, it was healthy. It was actually healthy. So she started producing this stuff immediately, and we started giving it to our son all the time with his little cute self. And I'm gonna tell you, he didn't have to have 1 brain surgery, and I felt like that was the greatest accomplishment that I ever had in my life. It ain't a school I could graduate to make me feel better about myself than I did that day. I was the kind of person that didn't want no kids, and I chose to have 1 child. And my child happened to come 6 months early, basically born inside out. I worked double time. They wanted me to put my child to sleep because he was born so bad. And they wanted me to see him one last time. And a nurse took me back there, and he squeezed my finger, and the nurse almost cried. She said, if you only knew how painful it is for him to squeeze your finger. And she said, what you want to do? I said, I want to try to save this boy. He's my boy. He fought to get here. We're going to fight to keep him here. spent all my money. I ain't had nothing but like $70,000 in my account. I spent all that money. That's all I had in my account. I had like 100 grand or either $70,000. That was it. We went broke. I put all of it. I had to buy a truck. Wasn't nobody help me nowhere. Just like this. I was in a situation just like this where I didn't have my cars and stuff. Where I won't sell my truck. And I needed to travel to Egleston, which was an absolutely outstanding hospital. The food is so good. You will skip every restaurant and go down there and eat at the hospital. The food is absolutely delicious. I used to do it. I skip all the restaurant and go to Egleston Hospital and eat. I don't know if you can still do that though, because you gotta have cars and stuff. But I go straight up there and eat. And man, when nobody helped us, it was like they wanted my son to die. And then I met this guy, and he was like, you weren't supposed to have a child. And it's gonna make your life hard. And it did. It did. I still thankful for my child, but it did. My life did a 360 after that. But I didn't know what I was. I didn't know I was a tool. If I knew I was a tool, I wouldn't have had a child. You gotta have when you're a tool like us, you gotta have a child by another angel. You gotta be with another angel. That's the only way. So that's why when you do have a child, you had the issue with birth and all that, or then you got somebody that can't have babies and stuff like that. It's probably because you're not with another angel. You gotta be with not only with another angel, but you gotta be with a particular angel, and that gonna activate all that. And then all of a sudden, oh, I can have a baby. That's why. Because God see it fit that you can have a child. An angel can have a baby with another angel. So, we couldn't afford, and I had to buy a truck. I had to buy all this baby stuff. Then I had to spend like $1,000, like a couple of grand on just medicine, on herbs and stuff like this that I had to make up to keep this child from having 7 brain surgeries. And that medicine cost me like $2,800 or $3,000 or $3,200 just for medicine and herbs. And I made it all at Egleston Hospital. I made it all at Egleston at the room they let you keep. Everything about that place is outstanding. The Ronald McDonald or whatever they call that place, all that they did absolutely wonderful. Y'all need to send money to them people. I'm telling y'all. And next thing you know, when I went, I was still in my street mode then. I still wasn't really about no kid, none of that. I really wasn't into all that. But it was like that one time when my son squeezed my finger, it changed my whole life. I ain't gonna lie, I had a good time trying to heal him as well. It's like I just kept getting into it. I've been in the streets my whole life, and just experiencing that right there was a way for me to shift gears, and it worked. It worked. So anyway, I'm trying to save my son, and I spent all this money, thousands of dollars, trying to get this herb in this woman, and she doing some crazy stuff. I think she was hiding, trying to talk to men or whatever. But whatever she was doing, I'm still fighting to get this woman to take this nutrient stuff in, and we feeding it to the baby. And the doctor said, I don't know. So the doctor was like, he showed me the brain where they gotta have the surgery, and it looked like a pyramid. And on the brain, they had these corners in the pyramid, and it had a name on each one of them. And I said, man, you can print that out for me. And I studied each corner of the brain and why the nutrients wasn't reaching the brain because of the child being born so early. And I learned the nutrients that the brain was missing in that neuron, in that part of the brain. I learned what the nutrient. Now, I'm talking about a person that comes straight out, ain't even in no school stuff, but I learned that brain like it was 3 different parts, and they were missing a certain nutrients. And I learned them nutrients, and I got to go. I found the nutrients online, natural herbs and stuff, and I made it up. I made up my own concoction, and I made up a little bottle of our own breast milk. We put it in her, and it came through her breast milk. Utilized her breast milk with that nutrients that was going in there, and we fed it to the child. And he had like 2 months to have his brain surgery. And that doctor came to me, he said, I don't know what y'all done, but your child ain't gotta have 1 brain surgery. And he had to hit 888 on this machine for him not to have brain surgery, and it had to consistently hit that 888. And I was just in there praying and praying and praying. I was with my child. This old woman was in there, looked like she was 192 years old. And she didn't look like 100, but she was acting like she was 192 years old. She was a nurse. And she said, I ain't never in my life seen somebody love somebody like that. And I done been here for years. Like she been there since the hospital opened. She said, I ain't never seen a parent look at their child like that. Not in a long time. And then I took my child, would take him and walk him. I would put him in the stroller and walk him to the malls and stuff. And people, different nationality people would just stop me and they'll tell me the same thing. I ain't never in my life seen nobody love their child like you love your child. Like, I ain't seen that kind of love in a long time, you know, from a daddy to a son or parents to a child. And they were just, you know, congratulating us and telling us to keep up the good work, stuff like that. And next thing you know, like I said, that doctor came to me and said, go look it up on social media, on Facebook. I ain't been on Facebook in years, but I got it on there while I made a music video where I was with him the whole time. That's when we were going through all that. And that's why I couldn't believe somebody put me through this after I went through all that with my son. And I said, right, that's why I went out to my family. I had every right to go out to y'all. For y'all to even think anything different, there's something wrong with y'all, man. I'm telling y'all, bro. There's something wrong with y'all, because the videos are there, the proof is there. You seen the work I had to put in. I don't care what kind of dark royalty you is, for you to even think to do something like that. You deserve more than what you thought I gave you. For you to even feel like I was wrong, something is wrong with you. And that's a fact now. Go look up the videos on social media. Go get my ex-wife to show you everything. She got it. She good at keeping stuff. If she didn't put her new lover face on my face, just look and see if the body move around and you'll know it's me. I'm tired of y'all additional edit. Y'all, edit and copy and paste people out there. I'm so sick of y'all emulators, bro. Look. just look like this, you'll see the real body behind. Now, I'm sick of y'all, bro. Somebody put in, that was a lot of work, bro. I mean, coming from Atlanta, we like 3 hours away from this hospital here. We like 2.5 hours for sure from here to that part of Atlanta. And I had to figure, I had to ride, I had to travel stuff, because we pretty much had to move to Ronald McDonald for 4 months, which was a great stay. And I had to move all this stuff. I had to buy a truck. Ain't no martyrs here. And you couldn't call them that little car service. That wasn't even available then. Nobody would help. One person had, this cop came, and my son was about to die. This cop came and about beat the door down. And we was in here just laying, because we were so tired. We figured we'd take a break, because we were back and forth on the road. 3 hours back and forth. We were driving like 6, 7, 8 hours a day. And this cop said, hey man, your son, he needs you, bro. It looked like they finna have to do something. We had to get up there before he passed away. And I don't want my son to know. Daddy went above and beyond for you. I ain't seen you in 5 to 6 years. But if I can do that for you, I want you to do that for me. You give your best, you always give your all. No matter what. And I don't eat all that bad food and that sugar. I'm going to tell you something. Dark people want you eating bad. Don't eat bad. Be a vegan if you can. Get your health back right. You never know, cause when you live like this, you gotta fight all your life, and you gotta be strong, mentally strong and physically strong. You can't. Low vibrational people right there in your family are not. They want you to look like this, and they want you to eat like this, so they can get a check off of you. Get rid of that. Telling you, bro. Telling you, son. My bad, I'm talking to you like you grown. I'm telling you, bro. I had to do it when I was young. You could do it. You gotta tell mama, I don't want that. That's too much sugar. Daddy said no. I'm telling y'all, bro. But anyway, I had to do all that. And we was using people, we was trying our best to find ways around. And you know, my sister would help as much as she could. But for the most part, I had to buy a vehicle because she didn't have a truck then. And so I went to this place, Rocky Ridge, on the mountain in Atlanta, and they gave me a deal on the truck. I ain't have, but I had $15,000 cash to give them. That's it. They wanted $21,000 for the truck, and that dude said, "Buy this truck and get out of my face." He said, "Get this truck, get out of my face." He was cool though. Everybody was cool though. They was all cool though. Rocky Ridge, go look at my ass some nice stuff. They don't even know if they're still up. But I bought that truck, and we traveled every day. We traveled all the time because it was a diesel, and it helped us out a great deal. And that's why I never sell it. And I put that Naruto stick on the back of the window. Because my son was a fighter, you know. Just to see somebody go through all that. Just so the family can just dismantle them for $1. Not just dismantle my family, you dismantle the town, you dismantle the community. Look at this town, man. I don't know if it was y'all. I ain't gonna say my family. I'm trying to give y'all the credit, the benefit of the doubt. I know who done what, but I'm trying to just stop saying what I need to be, I'm trying to stop talking like this. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I want God to just take care of all of it, because it was just so disturbing. And you better know it.